All right, welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you're an SEO pro, a digital marketer, or really just a business owner whose livelihood depends on web traffic, you need to pay very close attention right now. Because the absolute foundation of search, literally how people find information and buy products online, has fundamentally shifted this week. Google just wrapped up their I/O 2026 developer conference, and at the exact same time, they rolled out their May 2026 broad core update. And let me tell you, they are not playing around. Search is breaking, but more importantly, it's rebuilding into something entirely new.
So here's the million-dollar question we've got to answer today. For 25 years, the unwritten contract of the internet was pretty simple, right? You create great content, and in exchange, the search engine sends you human beings who click your links. But what happens when that contract is totally torn to shreds? What happens when a search engine decides its main job isn't to be a digital transit system anymore, but rather the final destination itself?
Negative 58%. Yeah, you heard that right. This is a genuinely devastating statistic that came out in late May. That number represents the drop in click-through rates for top-ranking pages that correlated directly with the rollout of AI overviews. Just let that sink in for a second. You could literally be ranking number one, doing absolutely everything right by the old rules, and still lose more than half of your traffic simply because an AI summarized your value before the user ever had a reason to click.
Now, the industry reaction has been, well, frankly panicked. And honestly, you can see why. Just look at this quote from the SEO subreddits this week. The entire informational content category gone. Now, okay, maybe that sounds a little bit hyperbolic, but it is an incredibly accurate read of the new interactive, zero-click search reality we're stepping into. If your entire business model is just answering simple questions to generate ad impressions, you are sitting right in the blast radius.
Okay, let's dive right into our biggest story of the week. Search is merging.
So at Google I/O 2026, we didn't just get a few feature tweaks, we got a complete, ground-up overhaul. Google has officially merged AI overviews and AI mode into a single, seamless flow globally. And the whole thing is being powered by their Gemini 3.5 Flash model. The search box itself is getting its biggest redesign in a quarter century. It now accepts text, images, files, videos, even Chrome tabs as inputs. But here is why this matters to you. Users can now move from a standard search results page directly into a full conversational AI mode without ever taking a separate step. It actively removes the friction point where users used to click through to your website.
And for the e-commerce folks listening, it gets even wilder. Google announced Universal Cart. This is a cross-merchant checkout system run by AI agents quietly operating in the background across Search, Gemini, YouTube, and Gmail. It surfaces price drops, stock alerts, and actually handles the checkout directly via Google Pay. Now, the silver lining is that brands do stay the merchant of record, but the reality, Google is owning the entire top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. You're just fulfilling the order at the end of the day. You might be the merchant of record, but they own the customer journey. If we look at the massive paradigm shift here, it's night and day. Think about it. The old user goal was finding links. The new goal is completing tasks. The old ad formats were static text. The new ones are dynamic, Gemini conversational ads. And most importantly, the traffic flow has completely shifted from click to website to zero-click consumption. So who wins here? Brands with deeply integrated product feeds and distinctive identities. And who loses? Traditional marketers stuck playing the old game, chasing blue links.
Which brings us to the biggest loser of the week, informational content.
It honestly breaks my heart to say it, but look at the brutal math currently devastating publishers. Global search referrals to publishers fell roughly 33% globally in the year ending November 2025. You combine that with the 58% drop in click-through rates from AI overviews we discussed earlier, and you have a full-blown crisis on your hands. In fact, this math forced Google's hand. Facing antitrust filings and publisher lawsuits, Google rolled out updates specifically designed to push traffic back to websites, publicly admitting for the very first time that AI search and the open web have a relationship problem. To understand how we actually adapt to this, look at the contrast. Old SEO was all about building massive FAQ schema libraries to capture those informational queries. Well, guess what? As of this month, Google officially deprecated FAQ-rich results. They're gone, dead, completely removed from search documentation. New SEO is entirely about optimizing for AI citations, establishing incredibly clear authorship, and feeding clean, structured data directly to the language models.
I really appreciate this insight from another industry pro this week. They hit the nail on the head. Zero-click was already a problem. Now it's the default path. Sites that survive are the ones Gemini already trusts. Your anxiety as a marketer right now? It's incredibly valid. But panic isn't a strategy. Trust is.
You have to become the entity that Gemini inherently trusts. But let's shift gears. The biggest winner of the week, Agentic AI.
Amidst all this disruption, there are massive opportunities emerging. Google Marketing Live just completely rebuilt the ad stack around these new agents. We now have the Business Agent for Leads, which replaces your boring static lead form with a Gemini-powered chat embedded directly inside the ad. We've got AI-powered shopping ads that instantly write custom explainers for products right at the moment of consideration. Plus, they announced the Anti-Gravity platform, which can literally generate custom user interfaces and mini apps on the fly for any query. The system is doing the heavy lifting now. Your job is to steer it.
And here is a crucial mental shift you need to make. Ad copy is no longer the entire message. I really want to repeat that because it's so important. Your ad copy is no longer the entire message. Why? Because that Business Agent for Leads is reading your website's content in real time to answer a buyer's questions inside the ad unit, meaning the structured content on your site is your ad copy now. If your website data is messy, your ads are going to fail no matter how clever your headline is.
Which brings up this fascinating technical tension happening right now. Have you heard of the LLMs.txt file? Chrome Lighthouse 13.3 now checks for this file at your domain root as an agentic browsing discoverability signal. Now, here's the catch. Google Search explicitly says this file does not affect your organic rankings. But the browser agent layer, the very agents that are about to do those universal cart checkouts, they demand it. You need to prepare your site not just for search indexers, but for browser agents.
Moving on to our SEO opportunity of the week, the citation economy.
We are officially moving from a traffic economy to a citation economy driven by Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO. To win and actually get cited by AI, you need these 4 pieces working in perfect harmony. You need immaculate structured data so the machine actually understands you. You need clear authorship to prove human expertise. You need substantive content ecosystems. We're talking deep, interconnected value, not just thin, one-off blog posts. And finally, you need raw brand authority. You must become the trusted, evidence-backed source that an AI feels confident citing to its user.
And Google is practically screaming this at us. They just rolled out a new subscribed label inside AI Overviews. This flags content from publications a user already pays for, and it pushes those inline links right into the main body of the AI answers. This is a massive tell. Google is openly signaling that who you are as a source dictates how prominently your link appears. Citation share is your brand new primary KPI.
There's this great piece of analysis from Seafoam Media this week that sums it up perfectly. The brands quietly winning right now are optimizing for AI citation and building owned channels. Integrated wins. Siloed loses. Look, if you have your SEO team in one corner, your paid media team in another, and your brand PR team off somewhere else, you are making a fatal mistake. They all feed the exact same AI ecosystem now.
All right, let's wrap this up with 3 action items you can implement today.
We've covered a ton of ground, and the stakes are obviously high, but here is your tactical survival map. Step 1, get your developers to publish an LLMs.txt file at your domain root immediately. You have to prepare for the browser agents reading your site. Step 2, audit your content. If you rely entirely on simple top-of-funnel informational content to drive your business, phase that out and start building deeper product-led or opinion-led value. And step 3, unify your clean, structured site data with a distinctive human brand strategy. Remember, clean data is the ultimate force multiplier for these new AI tools.
One final strategic note before we go. Please remember that the platforms will always change the rules. We're seeing it everywhere right now. TikTok's algorithm is shifting after their US ownership deal, prioritizing domestic trends. Apple's WWDC just signaled a massive pivot to on-device AI that won't pass user data back to centralized servers. Building first-party relationships, your email lists, your SMS lists, your direct brand loyalty is utterly non-negotiable right now.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Look at the reality of the landscape we just walked through. Is your brand ready to stand out as a trusted, cited authority, or are you just another digital commodity waiting to be summarized and replaced by a Gemini agent? The tools to win are right in front of you. It's time to get to work. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.